Hello, Victoria. Let's take a look at this new set of essays. The first one is about marriage and childbirth. Here's what you said. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated that whether people getting married and having a child at the age of around 30 has more advantages or disadvantages. Some believe that this phenomenon has more positive effects. However, I partially disagree. This essay will discuss both the benefits and the drawbacks of getting married and having a child at around the age of 30, using examples from the U.S. Family Care Center and the UK to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, fine. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that getting married and having a baby at around 30 has several advantages. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, people have time to build a career and focus on it more before they get married and have a child. Secondly, people who are not married and have no children have more time to relax and have fun after work. For example, recent empirical research by the U.S. Family Care Center demonstrated that 90% of all the parents who got married and had a baby in their 30s were more relaxed and prepared for a stressful life with children and could handle the difficulties more efficiently. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that to get married and to give birth to a child at a later age, such as after 30, has many benefits. All right, my concern in this paragraph is that your support here really only dealt with this second main idea, which means that your first main idea is left unsupported, and that's not enough. You have to make sure that each of your main ideas has its own piece of support, and it's typically a good idea to make sure that that support comes directly after the main idea itself. Okay, so this was fine for this main idea, but this one about focusing on your career didn't have any support, and that's going to lower your task achievement score. Let's go on to the next paragraph. On the other hand, people who get married and give birth around 30 could face several problems. Get rid of two. This is largely no comma, because the age difference between the parents and child could be the source of arguments, get rid of the, and the age of the parents may cause health issues. Okay. For instance, an extensive study from the UK showed that there is a 70% higher chance for complications at birth when women are over 30. Consistent with this line of thinking is that getting married and having a child at a later age, like 30, can cause difficulties. Like what? Can you get into a little more detail? What are those difficulties? You mentioned something about an age gap, but you didn't tell us what those difficulties are. So you're saying that maybe there's a generational gap where the parents can't communicate with their child, where, I mean, you have to give a little more detail here. You have to support it a little more. Let's see. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that this phenomenon also has, not has also has negative effects. To conclude, from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that although getting married and giving birth around 30 has many benefits, people should not forget about the equal amount of drawbacks. Therefore, I partially support this development, but it is predicted that this trend, especially in modern Western societies, here you need a comma and a comma, will increasingly grow. All right, that was nice, but your body paragraphs definitely needed some more development. I mean, they were absolutely missing something. So a little extra information in the second body paragraph. In the first body paragraph, it was missing a piece of support. Okay, so those are the things I want you to look at and be a little more careful about so that you can definitely get the task achievement score that you really need here. Okay? Let's take a look at your letter. I should add before we go to your letter that the rest of it was lovely. I mean, grammar and vocabulary and the template itself, everything was really well controlled. You applied everything you've been learning, so that's great. But just, again, I know how tricky task achievement is, which is why I always really focus on it in my essays. I think it's consistently the area that most people have the biggest problem with. So that's the one place that I really, really want you to focus on, okay? Let's go to this letter about the restaurant. Here's what you wrote. Dear Sir, Madam, I am writing to complain about my visit to your restaurant last week. I would like to express my utter disappointment. Firstly, the dinner we ordered. Now, you could have either said that we ordered, that would have been fine, or the dinner we ordered that night with my family was cold. Furthermore, the waiter was extremely rude when we asked him to warm up our dishes. He was so offended by our request that he started to yell at us. Finally, when we tried to eat the meat after all, it was so raw that we could not finish half of it. I would like a full refund as we could not eat the meal which was served that night and we needed to find another restaurant. Moreover, I would like you to have a discussion with your I think you mean your waiter, as his behavior was completely unacceptable. I do hope you could manage to change this waiter's attitude and that our many will be fully refunded. You don't mean many. You mean something else. You mean maybe money? I think you mean our payment. I think you mean our bill. Probably that's what you mean here. I look forward to hearing from you as soon as possible. All right, yours faithfully. That's fine. So let's see. It felt a little short. It's not. It's 160 words. I think, wait, it's 160 words with yours faithfully. We don't count yours faithfully. Let's see. Yeah, 159. I think you probably could have added maybe 1 or 2 extra sentences here. You did explain what happened. You did outline what you want to happen, that you want a refund. I think you could have said a little bit more about the refund. Maybe say that, you know, you've attached your contact information or you've attached the bank information where the refund can be sent to. I think you could have said, you could have added a couple of extra sentences to this, okay? Other than that, it was fine. It was appropriately polite, appropriately formal. No real issues there. Okay? So on the whole, it's a good set of essays. One thing I would like to see here is maybe some less common vocabulary, some higher level vocabulary as well. I mean, all the vocabulary used was pretty safe and it was pretty intermediate. So I can't really say there was anything where I said to myself, oh, that's a nice piece of vocabulary. There wasn't anything like that. It was all pretty par for the course. So I would like to see vocabulary that's a little higher level. I can't really tell you exactly one particular instance of where I would like to see that, but I think that in general that if you look through it again, you can find some places where the vocabulary can get a little higher, okay? So go ahead and correct these essays, return them back to us, and let's see what you write in your next set. Good luck to you, Victoria.